Should I give the Huell spiel? Is now the time?
If you would like to, is now work for you?
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else to do.
Do we?
Do you want to review
that?
Do you want to? I've nominated some challenges as well. If you want to review them while I'm talking about Hulk Hogan, Herbert Humphrey.
We could do that too. You wanted to craft something though, also at the same time. Does this all tie together?
I mean, I was just gonna work on some stuff while Huell Packard was talking about.
Okay, things. All right. That's not because I want to watch this too. I'm gonna
watch it. I'm just gonna craft while I watch.
Yeah.
It's
well, and this is a fine. So Huell Howser, in short, and I've tried many a time to explain this, and I'm not any better at it than I was a year and a half ago. But basically, he's a PBS guy out of Southern California, KCET, my hometown station. And originally, he's from Middle Tennessee. And I describe him as sort of chaos Mr. Rogers, because he produced maybe, I think, 1,000 different half-hour programs for public television over like 25 years. And because he's so loud and so broad and just so, no matter where he goes in California, the vibe he gives off is, I'm not from around here. And he uses that to kind of open people up. And just with the tiniest possible small talk, like he will take his radio mic and his cameraman, really skeleton crew, and just walk up to someone and be like, get me excited about clocks, like whatever it is they're doing. Right. And by the end of a half hour, he's, figured out the answers to questions like, what does this do for our community? What do you get out of it? What is the broader message? But through tell me about these tiny avocados, like little tiny questions, sort of chipping away at what the story is. And it's emergent storytelling. He was kind of a genius.
So this is not like going deep with David Rees, where it's like David's trying to figure out the best way to do a single mundane thing or something. This is more of I just want to know what this thing is that you're into kind of idea.
And he did he went to the Hollywood sign and the Golden Gate Bridge and sort of the sites you see on postcards. But most of the programs are local businesses or they're natural wonders, or sometimes it's just, and a lot of our gatherings. He went to Griffith Park when they were having a meetup of people that had built sidecars for their motorcycles.
Oh, nice.
And a different time he went to Griffith Park when they had guys who refurbished barrel organs, like the hand crank kind of music boxes.
Wild.
He's been to several donut shops.
Sorry, that just sounds self-serving. Donut shops
on company time.
How
on
many
the KCET
times do you
dime.
need to be explained how donuts work?
And a lot of times when he goes to a business, they name something after him before he leaves. There's a hot dog at Pink's that's named after him. He's got a Huell Howser donut somewhere. Because a lot of it is, was great exposure for the businesses most of the time, and he knew that.
It makes sense. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sold.
Yeah. And there was a bit of a toss up for me as to which, because I do a Twitch stream where we watch these and I just play ambient uke, really to shield us from DMCA mostly, but also just to give me something to do with my hands.
That's fair.
And
please do that if that's what you want to do. I'm basically letting you, because you can't stream this.
Yeah, we're essentially having a Molly stream takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I normally do these streams on Sunday. The show's called Sunday in the Park with Huell. And I was torn about where to take you to introduce you to Huell. And I'll just say, I don't think it's a good first visit, but it's sort of a good indicator as to the kind of places he'd go. He went to this place called the Bunny Museum, which at the time was a lady's house in Altadena. And she and her husband, over the 10, 15 years of their marriage, had on a nearly daily basis given each other bunny-related gifts. It had just become sort of an in-joke thing in their courtship that really got out of hand. And so their entire house is floor-to-ceiling bunnies. Just any kind of bunny you can think of. And, he's one of the most patient television presenters I've ever seen. And a lot of his episodes are just really largely unedited. And so you're just kind of watching him, trying to buy into this lady's story she's told herself. And it's very fun to watch him get tested, but I think it's a weird first visit if you've not seen a Huell Howser visit before. So maybe on our own time we can visit the Bunny Museum together.
I'm down. I'm down. Yeah, absolutely.
I have to say, like, Bunny Museum, I definitely did think about live bunnies and what kind of live bunnies would go in a museum, and then it'd
be a zoo at that point, wouldn't it?
Or a graveyard.
Yeah.
And that leads to me thinking of graveyards as human museums, and that's just fascinating.
Oh, I like where your brain goes.
I don't want to spoil the Bunny Museum for you, but they do address that.
I can't wait. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, so yeah, if engineering can queue up the episode that the visit, the show's called Visiting with Huell Howser, and this particular visit is called Bits and Pieces. I feel it's emblematic of his journalistic style, which is get out of the car and ask this person what they're doing. Put a microphone on their face and suddenly they're on TV. Here we go.
Gonna grab a thing to snack on while this is going too. I'll be right back.
Oh, well, let me change headphones as well.
This program airs statewide on California Public Television.
Drink in that
and is a
accent. Drink
California's Gold classic. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association. Hi, I'm Huell Howser, and here we are in the Salinas Valley. This is southern Monterey County. We were on our way from down the road here up to Carmel to do a story, but we spotted something here on the side of the road and we had to pull over and investigate it. What we saw was a field, as far as you can see, of cactus.
Oh, can we pause for a moment?
Down the road until we found this gentleman. Your name, sir, is?
Bruce Barsotti.
First of all, say hi to Bruce Barsotti.
Hi, Bruce.
Bruce.
Hi, Bruce. When we go on visits on my Sunday streams, there's a few what I call Huells. There's 4 of them that I can recall. We'll see if I remember them. Number 1, we're not riffing, we're visiting. Number 2, there's no such thing as a California accent. Number 3, there's no such obvious question. Number 4, if someone tells us their name, we should use that name. I think that's it.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and play.
And we just kind of walked in your door this morning, didn't we?
You sure did.
And asked you what?
What are all those plants for?
So, what are all these plants for? I've never seen, now I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm a city boy, but I've never seen a field like this full of cactus. What do you do with all these cactus?
These cactus are cultivated basically for the fruit, which is called a cactus pear or a prickly pear, which is basically a dessert. It's a fruit. It's kind of a kiwi, watermelon, strawberry type flavor. It's got a lot of seeds, got a lot of stickers, and it's served in a lot of restaurants. They're shipped all over the United States. Mostly to the terminal markets on the East Coast is the big push for them. Some of them now are starting to show up on the West Coast. We'll ship anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 boxes of these a day.
You're kidding.
No, it's a very big market. It's kind of an obscure market. It's more of your European nationalities know more of what goes on with the cactus pears.
Now, what are we talking about when we talk about cactus, what it is you're shipping?
Basically,
what is it you get off of these cactus?
Like any fruit, it starts off as a flower. As you can see on a lot of these plants, you have a flower that grows into a fruit. I've got here what is a small one. They turn a bright red color. They've got a lot of stickers on them. That's why I'm not touching it. When you peel it, you actually cut the ends off, hold it, then peel the outside skin off, and it reveals a real pink, red, fleshy fruit.
So that's what everybody wants.
This is what they're after. And there's also another byproduct called nopales, which is the small leaf.
Right here.
Which is eaten by the Spanish community.
Right, because we've been to some markets where they have those on sale. You can fry them up, you can cook them up.
This is a byproduct. This is something that now is starting to be marketed a lot more. But basically, they're after the cactus pears, which is this right here, and they're harvested all year round. All year we get flowers, blooms, and fruit.
Now, is that why I don't see any of the, we found one on the ground because they've just been harvested, right?
Right, it was just harvested last week.
So they come through here how often harvesting these things?
Every 2 to 2.5 weeks.
And all of this is just for that. There's no use for the bigger...
It's a cactus. The people from Texas come up here and they can't believe that in California we're actually growing cactus. In Texas they try to kill it. Here we grow it.
Now does it get, do they get taller than this, bigger than this?
Yeah, these are 4-year-old plants. They'll get about 6 feet tall. They're constantly trimmed and hedged to keep the growth stunted and bushed out.
Really? And do you ever have people coming by here wanting to buy these for their yard?
No, it's a cactus.
Well, no, but I mean some people like cactus and they're, you know, as plants.
A few people have taken, leaves and stuck them in the ground. You stick the leaf in the ground and you've got an instant plant.
Yeah, but I do bet you have a lot of people like us curious, don't you?
We have so many so that we do have signs on the road explaining what the cactus are about, so we don't get that many people asking us questions.
We saw some of the signs, but we wanted to hear it from somebody in person.
Well, that's the whole story. This is what it's about. It's actually the crazy Californians growing cactus.
Well, thank you, sir, very much. Now, this was an unplanned stop. We were on our way to actually film a story down the road in Carmel, but we saw this, pulled over, and kind of found out what it was all about. And this brings to mind the whole concept of things that we see on the side of the road as we're driving down the road, that things that are unplanned, things that just kind of catch our attention. That's what this entire episode is all about. We call it Bits and Pieces because we're going to be doing a lot of stories, just little bits and pieces of California that we see along the side of the road as we're on our way to do the larger stories. You have been the first of our first bit and piece here.
Well, thank you, sir. It's been fun.
And that's what this program is called, Bits and Pieces, as we all continue our search together. What did you do?
I just hit myself with it and I'm full of stickers.
As we all continue our search together for California's gold.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's so aggressively wholesome.
Well, leaving the cactus behind, our next accidental discovery occurred as we were driving through one of the prettiest parts of our state, the Central Coast. Now, we were heading for the Santa Ynez Valley, and just outside the little town of Buellton, right off Highway 101, we spotted something that at first we couldn't believe. Well, this takes the cake. Look what we found here on the side of the road. Your name, sir, is?
Colin Cooper,
Mr. Cooper, and these
Hi, Colin Cooper.
are obviously ostriches.
Right. The dark ones are the males, just so you don't get confused.
Now, I guess the question would be, what are ostriches doing in the Santa Ynez Valley?
Well, we came up here from Santa Barbara a couple of years ago, about 7 years ago, and they were the very first. However, they adapt really well to this climate. They love San Ynez.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your background with ostriches? Why ostriches?
Well, I come from South Africa. I was born and raised there. And ostriches are the biggest, they were the 4th biggest export in South Africa in the old days after gold, diamonds, and wool.
Really?
Ostrich feathers.
Ah.
And they
This
discovered
photobomb
you could pick
situation.
feathers without damaging the bird or even hurting them. They don't have any nerve endings there.
Look at these, look at these, Louis. Now, they're pecking at your arm.
Yeah, they're just curious.
If
They're
I
all
put
friendly.
my arm over here, will they peck at me?
Sure, preferably if you had some jewelry, diamonds and gold, they would prefer that. But they'll peck on your watch if you
Oh!
They're trained to take those, yeah.
Watches are lovely. They like
Now,
watches.
they won't hurt.
No,
Oh, boy.
they don't have any teeth, so they're just curious. This is being friendly. If they were going to be nasty, they would kick you.
Really? That's how they defend themselves.
Right.
Now, how many ostriches? Look at this. As far as we can see, all the way around, Louis, we've got ostriches. How many, what do you say, head of ostrich do you have?
Yeah, you could say neck of ostrich, perhaps. We have about 200 at this ranch. We have our other ranch in San Ynez.
And you sell them for meat?
No, these are our breeders. We pick up the eggs every day, incubate them, and hatch them and raise the chicks.
I gotcha. And what about the feathers?
And the feathers are special. Ostrich feathers have always been since before Roman times. Big demand for the feathers.
Boy, look, they really just come right over to you, don't they?
Right. These are breeding hens, and they might even lay down if you like. I'll go next to one of them, and you'll see she'll lay down.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why will she lay down?
Well, I think she wants to breed. We'll see.
Wait.
It's a family show. Don't get saucy,
Maybe
Colin.
this one doesn't, but
What do they feel? Can I touch one?
yeah,
Look, they're not always into it.
it's clucking when she puts her wings out like that.
That's what?
It's called clucking. When they want to breed, they put their wings out.
Oh, so she's ready to breed.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, they're strange looking animals. May I? Oh. They're kind of intimidating.
Well, they can feel that too. They say they're very close to dinosaurs as well, which is interesting. They're the only birds with only 2 toes. You might notice that their legs are very unusual. They're very fast. They're the fastest animals on 2 legs too. They run at 40 to 45 miles an hour.
Wait a minute. The fastest animal on 2 legs.
That's right.
Oh, look at them. Look at them. Now I'm getting braver. I'm going to put my... Oh! Whoa, they are really... Whoa.
The females peck it a little bit harder. I don't know why, but they do.
Boy, look how they go after you. You just...
Well, I'm pretty used to this. It makes them relax and feel comfortable if you let them peck you.
So this isn't an aggressive thing they're doing. This is just a curiosity thing.
Absolutely.
A love thing.
That's right. Little love kisses.
Well, this has been very interesting. Who would have thought that up here in the middle of the Central Coast in California, there's no history to them ever having been here in the past, years and years and years ago, is there?
Well, they used to be here in the late 1800s. There was a ranch in San Ynez on State Street, Santa Barbara on State Street, believe it or not, as well as in Carpinteria, and the most famous one was in South Pasadena. That was when the feathers were so valuable that you could pay for the feathers with a equal weight of gold. Quite remarkable animals.
Wow. Really? So there is a history of ostriches being in California.
Right, they haven't been here maybe for 60 or 70 years, but they were here. The conditions are really good for them.
What was the sound that ostrich just made?
Well, the good thing about ostriches is they actually don't make a sound. They have no voice box.
But I heard air coming.
Yeah, he might have hissed a little bit, but that's about as much as they do. And the males in the breeding season blow their necks up and expel air really fast.
Look at them attacking your...
Yeah.
Look at this. Whoa! Well, this has been very interesting. Now we're going to go inside for a quick look at what you've got in your... Because you got a stand. That's kind of what caught our eye was the
I
stand.
would not let the camera get too
then
close.
we looked over and we saw all these
If they like to
birds,
peck
and
attack, yeah.
It was just, it really caught our imagination.
Well, great. They really love it here too. We range them in one big area, so that's very much back to nature. We try to do it the natural way.
So they're just out on the open range.
Right, and you can see the fencing is not very substantial. It's they like to be there. They don't want to get out. If they wanted to, they would come out.
Now, what are you buying in here?
The ground ostrich.
The ground ostrich. Now, have you ever had any ostrich before?
No, that's why I'm buying the ground, because I figured that we could use it in different
Do
recipes.
you have any idea what it's going to taste like?
Beef.
You think so? Is that what it tastes like?
It's like beef, very lean, extremely lean, no fat.
So it's healthy. Well, enjoy.
Thank you.
And what have we got over here?
Excuse me. These are empty egg shells. They're the biggest eggs in the world, as you probably know. It come from the biggest bird. And the teachers tell me they're the largest single cell as well, so it's of great interest for the teachers and
The
for
largest
the kids. Single cell.
single cell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
These are the fresh ones, which means you can eat them, but it also is impressive because they're extremely heavy and strong.
Oh my gosh.
They weigh about 3.5 to 4 pounds,
These are heavy eggs.
and they are hard. So the birds weigh 300 pounds, and they lay on them. So you can imagine 300-pound bird. This has to be a real special shell.
Now, what do you do with these eggs?
We have instructions here how to open them and keep the shell, so you can have your omelets and have your egg and eat it.
Boy, this would make a heck of an omelet.
It's the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs, so
Really?
you have to have a few friends and neighbors around.
And does it taste the same as a
Right.
chicken egg?
Just like a regular egg, real mild flavor.
And you've got ostrich eggs. Look over here, Louis. They're all decorated up. The ostrich, and you got the ostrich feathers down here, key rings, ostrich Look at this.
Just gesticulating with an ostrich egg in his hand.
4-pound weight.
Huell has a good grip on that.
Women use those in like boas and things.
This is the era of fuel that me and my chat call Huell Howser.
You can look at too.
Just Bone Diesel.
There it is down here. That's the way they used to wear them. Well, this has been
He's in great shape.
very interesting. I can guarantee you when we were heading up here today, if anybody had told us that this is where we would have ended up, I wouldn't have believed it.
Oh, well, it's one of the sites. People love it, and the birds do real well. So between it's a win-win situation. People love it, and the birds do too.
And it's very much a part of California's past history, present history, and California's gold. Well, there we were, heading down State Highway 118 in Ventura County.
The birds pet you, seemingly.
Now, this is the Los Posas Valley, an agricultural area where they grow everything from lemons to oranges to avocados, all kinds of vegetables. But we spotted something growing in a field right beside the road that was impossible to pass by. Well, I'm standing here with Dave and Bill in this unbelievable place. Louis, pull back with your camera and show everybody where we are. As far as you can see.
Oh my word.
Over in this direction, and of course this is just half the field. Louis is going to pan back over in a minute and show the rest of the field that goes
Take your time,
all
Louis.
the way over to the road where we were heading down the road just a little while ago. And gentlemen, this field of marigolds is a traffic stopper, isn't it?
You bet it's a traffic stopper.
We got here at a good time of the year.
Well, one of the things that we have on weekends that we do actually almost have a traffic jam at times, because people will stop and take pictures.
Yeah.
And then you see little places where they bring their kids out and take pictures. So
I bet.
there is a lot of people out here on weekends.
Now tell us about this. What is this all about?
Well, this particular marigold is a scarlet marigold, and I grow this field for Pan American Seed, which is Bill Orchard here, and we contract it by the pound, and then they take the seed and they take it from there and they do their thing with it.
So you're growing these marigolds not for the flowers, but for the seed.
Just for the seed alone.
How long has your family been in this business?
Well, I have been in the business for 40 years.
Growing marigolds?
Growing marigolds. And my brother was actually in it before I was.
So this is a family business?
Well, we started off with burpee seed. And that goes back quite a ways.
Yeah. So. And marigolds, tell me something good about marigolds. You told me they have kind of a smell to them.
Well, they have a very good smell. I mean, you when you get back over to your car, you're going to get in there and have a nice little aroma to you.
It's not the flower that smells.
No, it's the plant itself.
The plant itself has a rather, it sticks to your clothing.
It sticks to your clothing.
But marigolds are beautiful.
Well, they're a flower that'll grow, and it's very easily to grow. You can grow them in your garden.
Take the compliment, Dave.
You get a bloom like this, and they last a long time. And it's probably one of the easiest flowers to grow.
Grow more.
But in the type of thing that we're into, as we get into the seed production, there's a lot of timing that has to be, and correct timing to get your maximum bloom, to get your maximum harvest.
Take a lot of water?
Not a whole bunch. You got to be careful with water. You got to know when to put it on and to take it and pull it off. Don't put any more water to it, which gets in there the timing part,
Now, Bill, it seems you're from the seed company, Pan American Seed. It seems a shame to waste all these pretty flowers, but really what you're interested in are the seed to make more flowers.
Well, we're interested in the seeds because those are what we ultimately sell. But the interesting part about this variety, this is really not a garden variety, a home garden variety. It's a unique variety or type of business we're in, one of our marigold businesses. This seed is actually sold around the world, and the marigold flowers are grown, and the flowers are harvested in full bloom around the world. And then these petals contain a pigment.
There we go.
The pigment is called xanthophyll.
Awesome.
And you can see how it colors my hands.
Yep.
This pigment is extracted from the petals around the world, and the pigment actually is used to color chickens' eggs, the egg yolk.
What?
You heard it right.
Up on wire, they don't get to the coloring that they need for the yolks to be dark, so they add this to
their
colored.
feed.
Yeah.
To the chicken feed.
Oh.
So wait a
Yeah.
minute. This whole thing is for chicken
The
feed.
whole field is ultimately for chicken feed.
This isn't going for people's gardens.
No, not this variety.
This isn't going for
Wow.
people's vases and they're on their. This is going for chicken feed.
Chicken feed.
Now that's a shocker. I've never heard of such a thing.
And
There's enough business. There's enough market for that.
There's a big business worldwide. 20,000 kilos of seed probably we sell worldwide of this type of marigold.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. That is amazing. Now you also, I'm sure, sell seed for those of us who want to plant it in gardens.
We have probably 50 to 60 varieties of marigolds, from the short ones to the tall ones that we sell for the home garden.
But Louis and I chose the field that you're growing for chicken feed to stop in.
Yeah. We told you it was going to be different.
Wow, this is amazing. Now that I had no idea you were going to tell me that. We hadn't rehearsed that, had we?
No.
Oh my gosh.
You don't normally see a marigold this orange red, but it's specifically developed to have more pigment in the petals.
Oh wow. Well, let's take one more look around, Louis, because this is a lot of chicken feed out here.
A lot of chicken feed.
And this will be coloring the yolks of chicken eggs,
Right.
all over the world.
Yes.
Right here, and explain exactly where we are.
Well, we're in Ventura County, and we're in the Las Posas Valley.
Uh-huh.
We're between Somis and Satakoy.
Right on the side of
On
118. And these are in bloom for just a couple of weeks or
Oh no, they'll be in bloom probably for close to a month.
Look, there it is right over there. There's the highway where we were traveling down. I tell you what, this is amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen, for filling us in on this. This is a
Thank you.
very bizarre bit of Louis. Come on back over here and let me say goodbye to these gentlemen. This is
Louis taken in by the scene.
bizarre bit of California's gold. This is gold, all right. You'd call this gold, wouldn't you?
You bet.
This is the strangest story I've
There's
ever
a
seen.
lot of money this stuff gets involved with. When you get leaves here and it goes to gets into the dyes. Think of the chickens and everything. I mean, quite a story.
Peru, China, Mexico, India.
These go to Peru,
The seed-
China,
the seed goes- the
Mexico.
seed Ecuador.
Really?
Yeah.
Why can't they grow their own marigolds?
Well, they grow their own. Well, we've developed varieties that are higher in pigment and higher in yield. So that's what we're after.
Well, this has been interesting. This is a first. I've never heard of such a thing. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This has been, well, this is the finest and most interesting and unique example of California's gold I think we've ever found. Right here on the side of the highway, a field full of brilliantly colored marigolds on their way around the world for use as chicken feed. Well, this is a very appropriate way to end this particular adventure. You know, the whole program has been, well, we've called it Bits and Pieces because we've had all these little vignettes of places that we have discovered along the road as we were heading for our main story, places that we stumbled across quite unexpectedly. And here we are today in this beautiful historic town of San Juan Bautista in the State Historic Park. We're standing here in front of the old Plaza Hotel, which has been restored. We're getting ready to get run over here. I'm with Ranger Martinez.
Ooh.
And Ranger, we're not here to look at the front of the hotel, are we?
No, we're going to look at something behind the hotel.
We're going to look at something behind the hotel. We had no idea this was here. And I was walking along the street with you.
In the middle of the street.
I want to know what's behind
Pointed up at this
Oh, he'll
thing
love
and
standing in the
asked you
middle of
what
the
it
street.
was, and the answer was
Hi, Ranger
quite
Martinez.
surprising. Tell us about this historic structure
Tell us.
right up there.
This is a two-story outhouse, and it was built about 1860s, 1870s for women. The women travelers who were coming to the hotel stayed up in the parlor, which is upstairs, and so that they wouldn't have to come downstairs and mingle with perhaps a more colorful clientele of the men in the bar room, they could walk across this catwalk and use their own facilities upstairs.
So this was a two-story, a second-story outhouse for use by the women and I guess the children as well.
Right, women and children. The two lower outhouses are set off to the side. There's a central shaft down the middle, of course, so that people could use the lower outhouses at the same time.
Oh my gosh. Do you get comments about this, questions about this? What do people think that was?
We get comments all the time, and lots of them think it's a two-story outhouse, but they won't say. They'll come and say, what's that two-story thing behind the hotel? And then you say, it's an outhouse. And I said, I thought so, but we weren't sure. How does it work?
Well, you don't go into great detail about how it works, do you?
No, usually not. But people are concerned that things are happening down below that shouldn't be, so we explain to them that they're offset and it's a separate shaft.
And actually, that's not a functioning outhouse now, is it?
No, it's not. And it's not open to the public to walk across the catwalk.
You have indoor plumbing here now.
Yes, we do, fortunately.
Well, this has been a perfect
proud.
way to end our program. All these little bits and pieces of California history that we've discovered along the road. I hate to tell you, I think this tops them all, literally. The second story outhouse here in San Juan Bautista. This and all of the little bits and pieces of California history that we've discovered along the way, all very much a part of California's gold.
Oh gosh.
Remember that time that cactus man stabbed himself?
Yeah.
Poor Bruce.
Poor Bruce.
He got through so much of that video without stabbing himself with any cactus.
He's got to prick himself all the time. It's just an occupational hazard, surely.
One would think, right?
I don't think he's got feeling in his fingers anymore from it.
All
like-
of... Go ahead.
I was gonna say just all the conversation about like, oh, well, we make these seeds, and then so what do you do with the seeds? Well, we go make more flowers in different places. It's like,
yes, but why?
Okay, but what do you do with the flowers? It's like, well, they're not for grown in home gardens. What do you do with the flowers? Like, I'm just waiting for them to be like, it's a cover for opium. Like, I'm just waiting for something that's just really dastardly, and it's like, you make pigment. I'm like, great, okay. I just needed to know why you factory farm flowers. What are they so good for?
Well, hello,
Oh, they're good for
everybody. I'm
pigment.
Huell Howser, and I sure hope you
Okay, bye,
enjoy
Huell Howser. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Huell.
you,
We sure
Huell
did.
Howser.
Gosh.
Thank you,
You're a
Huell Howser.
delight.
Every guest that he had on was so eloquent about their individual specialities. Like, none of
Yeah,
these
and-
people knew this was going to happen to them when they woke up that morning, right?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
But they managed
Yeah.
to. Wow.
That was
Yeah.
good. It's funny seeing everybody in chat watching this all go by and people being like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, people like color their eggs and like
Yeah.
they make them eat the stuff so the eggs are orange. So we're getting fake eggs. It's like I don't know, the eggs seem pretty real to me, but I'm like, has nobody ever heard of annatto? Because that's what
I
they
have
use
not
to
heard
color
of annatto.
cheese. Like
A lot of our food is colored.
yeah, orange cheeses like
Or dyed.
Yeah, at least
cheddar-
it's a naturally occurring thing. They're not like
Right?
feeding chickens Cheeto dust.
Exactly, right. And it's like
Yeah.
flamingos are pink because of the shellfish they eat.
Yeah, and that's a natural
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because that's just,
So if you,
that's
what happens
they
if you
eat.
feed a flamingo marigolds? Do they turn orange?
They probably would turn
Oh,
orange.
maybe.
Oh my god!
Uh,
We
apparently, if you feed them other stuff, they kind of have a more white tinge.
There was a thing in Quebec a long time ago, and this actually I think led to a Canadian law being passed, not just in Quebec, but in Quebec they had an argument because the dairy producers were mad because margarine was being colored artificially colored yellow, like a deep yellow, like butter.
Yeah.
So they looked the same. And the dairy producers got really mad because they're like, you can't just fool people like that because the stuff doesn't come out
Yeah.
like it comes out like bright white. So we are going to you can't do it. And so they went to court and sure enough, or somebody passed a law or whatever, but I think it actually did become a court case. But they passed a law saying margarine in Quebec, and I think it meant that margarine all across Canada had to be colored. It had to be white. It had to be uncolored.
Yeah.
And I think they give it something to kind of give it a bit of a different color, but yeah. So
it reminds me of I think the 90s, maybe the early aughts, there was a trend of like paint colored sunscreen so that when you rubbed it in, it would like disappear. And there was like blue and purple and stuff. And so they should just have blue margarine. That would solve the problem.
Oh yeah. Like how you
Distinguishable.
get glue that's like purple or blue and then it dries
Yeah.
clear.
yeah, they do that with paint now too, where you put ceiling paint on pink and then it dries white. And it's like that way I know where I've painted my ceiling.
That's smart.
Oh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's a really smart
What if
idea.
you-
It's
What if you want a pink ceiling and then you feel bamboozled when it dries white?
right. I think you're warned ahead of time that it's like this will dry white. Just see, it's like, well, I mean, Elmer's glue like starts white, dries clear. So I guess it's maybe a
Yeah.
similar kind of idea, but
If you want a pink ceiling, you just have to keep painting.
Yeah. Just every couple days.
Always be painting.
ABP, always be painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see everyone's bringing up green ketchup and purple ketchup in chat. That was I don't
I mean,
understand.
those didn't change color when you
yeah. When you shot it out of the bottle, it didn't go from like purple to.
If you didn't leave it like alone long enough, it didn't turn red or anything quite like that.
Though I think if you leave ketchup alone long enough, it turns brown.
Yeah, I think it will discolor on its own.
I think it will.
Because I think we've tried it as like fake blood for a school project or something.
Because the tomato will oxidize, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Something like
that was fun though. I quite enjoyed that, Molly.
Oh.
I'm
Good,
a
glad.
Huell fan, I guess.
Yeah. You're a hooligan.
I saw somebody post a picture of Huell Howser drawn by The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Was he in an episode at some point, or
he's in a couple episodes? I think basically as like nearly himself.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's super cool.
And he was also in the Winnie the Pooh movie as like it's just there. It's like on YouTube, but it's this giant beast that lumbers out of the 100-acre wood and then falls into a hole.
Okay.
And so it's mostly just Huell's voice going, "Wow, I've fallen into a hole. It sure is dark down here."
Yeah.
I remember that story, and I can't remember what he's called, but it's something like
the Heffalump.
No, it's not a Heffalump. It's definitely a thing where it's like 3 or 4 different words that Winnie the Pooh read as one single word, and there were, someone in chat will hopefully.
Yeah, a lot of people in chat familiar with Huell from either living in California or having seen my stream. What is the actor? 6 credits as an actor. Baxon? That's not what you're talking about.
The Baxon, yeah. The Baxon was what I was talking about.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, he was the voice of the Baxon.
Yep. Because it was supposed to be back soon. Christopher Robin said he was going to be back soon, and they read it as like he's
going to turn into a Baxon.
Something about a Baxon, and they like thought the Baxon must be a monster. It is adorable. That movie is very cute.